This month, the Southeast Asia and the Pacific region is very active and busy as the region is hosting three important world events. The first one, ASEAN Summit in Cambodia, the second one, G20 in Indonesia, and the last one, which is the most important one as Thailand is the host, is the Apec Summit 2022. And therefore today we are at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have an exclusive interview with Khun Thanee Sangrat, former spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and who is also has recently been appointed as the current Thai ambassador to Washington DC in the United States. สวัสดีค่ะคุณธานีแสงรัตน์ค่ะ First of all, thank you for having me here, and I would like to ask about mainly focus about Apec Summit because Thailand is the host, and I would like also to touch a little bit about ASEAN Summit, which is going to happen at the same time before the Apec Summit as well. First of all, because from today until 14th of November, we are quite close from the date. What are the preparations right now?
Well, we are in final stretch of our preparation for Apec Economic Leaders Week, which starts on the 14th of November until the dates of the summit itself, which are on the 18th and the 19th of November of next week. In terms of substantive preparation on the policy side and on the documents, there are three main documents that Department of International Economic Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and also other agencies concerned are preparing. One is the leaders' statement, which will be issued on the 19th after the Leaders Summit. And also, one of the most important documents is the Bangkok goals on BCG.
Yes.
That they're also working on the wording on the Bangkok goals on BCG. And the other document is the statement of the Apec ministerial meeting, which will be conclude on the 17th of November. So these are the three main documents that officials are discussing with Apec member economies. All throughout the year, we have assumed our host year in the beginning of this year, and we have had two Apec senior officials meeting. The last one was in Chiang Mai, preparing the cooperation within the areas and framework of Apec. We have had also 8 ministerial meetings throughout the year throughout the country in Thailand, preparing for cooperation in various fields. For example, in forestry, healthcare, on the role of women in businesses, on environment, on the finance, and several other areas that we have worked on. So Apec areas of work encompasses a variety of sectors of the economy and society. So Apec's cooperation is in fact very close and very tangible to the daily lives of the people. This year, Thailand has submitted and proposed to members of Apec economies our main proposal on the 3 groups of issues. You may have heard about our open, connect, balance.
Connect and balance. Yes, how would you like to define?
These are the 3 groups of issues that we have submitted, and we have received wide approval, wide support from Apec member economies. Open covers our work on trade and investment promotion, on reducing obstacles, barriers to trade and investment. Specifically, this area is under the leadership of the Ministry of Commerce of Thailand. We have specifically worked on the multi-year work plan, a details plan about how Apec and refresh the conversation on the free trade area in Asia Pacific. So from this year on, well, we will APEC member economies will continue to discuss our work and laying down the foundation for our discussion on the free trade area. But not only that, there is a variety of a gap of development between APEC member economies. We have developed economies and we have developing economies. So the work of the APEC member economies under the open group of issues, they have also worked on capacity building for developing member economies to address their ability to benefit from free trade area that they will continue to discuss from now on. On the second group of issues is connectivity. Connectivity means we discuss on connectivity to connect in all dimensions. For example, the digital connection, telecommunication. More specifically, APEC member economies focused on safe travel, safe and seamless and convenient travel between APEC member economies after COVID-19, because we have pretty much managed very well the COVID-19 in Thailand, but also in other economies. So from now on, we hopefully we will travel within the APEC member economies more freely and more conveniently. But before we do that, we have to share information. We have established an information portal on immigration information, so that when people or tourists, travelers travel, they know exactly what rules they are supposed to comply.
I've heard that there's a APEC membership card.
Yes, that is part of the connectivity.
Yes.
The first one is immigration information. The second one is the COVID-19 vaccine certificates that member economies are starting to share, so that they are recognized.
And
when
be able
travelers
to
travel to another
economies.
they are recognized. Their COVID certificate are recognized and they are admitted into that
to facilitate
into that other economy more
Right.
freely. We did not have this arrangement when we had COVID-19. So we had many economies and countries have to lock down their economies and protect their people from the spread of the virus. So hopefully after we have this arrangement, we will more importantly prevent economies, including Thailand, from locking down when we have other disease that may spread in the near future, or maybe there may be a newly emerging disease after this year, in the near future. And you mentioned rightly about the APEC travelers card.
Yes.
Previously, for a number of years, we have had APEC travelers card that are available only to the top level businesses, top level CEOs. We have enlarged and expanded this to encompass middle ranking businesses and other business people, so that this facilitates more business travel within APEC.
This is also under
economies.
the connectivity, right?
Yes, this also comes under connectivity.
Yes, and also tourism industry can also join in this APEC
Yes.
card as well.
Yes.
Tourism, medical.
Yes, so more. I think the businesses will be more covered widely under this APEC business card arrangement.
So that's an opportunity to expand.
Yes.
To expand the economics. What about the balance?
Balance. We have to look at the role and the situation that we find ourselves in.
Right.
We have the problem with climate change and global warming, and this affects the whole world. It affects not only Thailand but other economies within Asia Pacific.
Also the pandemic.
Also, the pandemic comes up because of the imbalance in the nature that we have not conducted ourselves in a more balanced way. The most important, I think the most important proposal that Thailand has had put forward for the member economies in the balanced group of issues. So we have come up with a plan to conclude Bangkok goals on BCG economy to be submitted to the APEC economic leaders on the 18th and 19th of November. The Bangkok goals comprise 4 areas of issues. The first one is we will tackle head-on the climate change issues, meaning that we will focus on the goals that each economy will have to commit themselves to, reducing carbon emission, for example, reducing carbon neutral and greenhouse gases that we have to reduce sharply. Thailand has set goals on this issue. On the biodiversity, on the bioconservation, there also is another set of issues that APEC economies will have to work on as well. So it's also set in the second part of the Bangkok goals. The third part is to manage our waste, to reduce, to do away with the more renewable energy, for example, and to work on our circular economy, for example. So waste reducing and circular also important part of our Bangkok goals declaration. So these are the issues that we will submit to the leaders to be approved and to be declared at the summit.
For this year, Thailand is the host of Apec 2022. What are the most challenging topic for Thailand to handle?
I think the most important topic, in my view,
yes.
is the balance group of issues. That is most important because I think the world faces a huge challenge in terms of climate change, but that's not the most challenging.
Yes.
The most challenging may be the international situation that we find ourselves in, the tension between the great powers, the conflict in Europe, the energy crisis and the disruptions of supply chains. These are the issues that APEC economies continually work on, and especially the tension and the differences of views among many members of the APEC economy, especially the great powers, prevent us from finalizing some of our documents, and we may have to issue. We may not have consensus in all of the key documents that we are working on, but not because of cooperation within APEC themselves, not because of APEC issues, but there are issues outside of APEC cooperation. Yes, it's issues on international
on the
conflict.
international stage. Yes.
Issues on differences in the views of the great powers, or many member economies on situation outside of APEC, for example, or the competition between the big powers.
For APEC this time, what will be the opportunities for Thailand?
Well, I think the APEC issues are the most important that we have to focus on, but other priorities for Thailand and opportunities for Thailand include our opportunity to show to the world that Thailand is ready to host, to be the forum for leaders of the countries and economies of the world to come and join us and discuss the difficult issues, discuss the challenges that face the world and the international community. Important issues, as we have mentioned, the climate change, international conflict, competition between great powers, energy supply, the state of the world economy, supply chains disruptions, something that are important not only to the governments but to the people around the world, and especially within the region of Asia Pacific. So this is an important opportunity for Thailand to showcase itself that we are ready and we are able to perform our role, to be to rely on our good and close relations with each and every economy and our three special countries that are our special guests that also join Thailand bilaterally, but also as special guests of the host of Apec. So this is very important opportunity for Thailand.
When you mentioned about special guests, one of them is the MBS or the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He is confirmed to be here as observator. I would like to ask, what will be the opportunities between Thailand and Saudi Arabia in terms of economics, bilateral economies, and maybe bilateral relations as well in many, many ways, especially on energy, tourism, and labor?
I would share that there are three important countries and leaders that are invited as special guests of the host of APEC, which is Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. One of them is the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. As a result of our continuing work to normalize relations between Thailand and Saudi Arabia, the Prime Minister just invited the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia to join us as special guests of APEC. Saudi Arabia has never joined APEC an APEC meeting. I think, but Saudi Arabia is an important partner in terms of its role in the Asia Pacific, especially Saudi Arabia is an energy power and has a large economic role to play in the world and in Asia. So interaction between the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia and members economies of APEC and the host will be very important to Asia Pacific and to Thailand. Bilaterally, Thailand and Saudi Arabia have many complementarities for each other. Saudi Arabia is a powerhouse, rich in terms of oil and gas, a major investor, a major source of tourists, while Thailand is also a major agricultural products producer, a major tourism industry, which is huge. And we also need energy, oil and gases. So I see them, Thailand and Saudi Arabia, as a perfect match. Their cooperation will benefit both sides. So it's very important for the Prime Minister to host the visit of the Crown Prince.
Can you review what will be the opportunities or maybe the main discussions topics between Thailand and Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think the most important for Thailand is the investment in oil and gas and the cooperation in oil and gas. Just the other day, we have a large investment delegation from Saudi Arabia here in Thailand to discuss investment opportunities for Saudi investors.
For both sides, for
both
Thailand
sides. For Saudi investors to invest in Thailand, but previously, earlier in the year, we have also had visits from investors from Thailand that joined Deputy Foreign Minister's Dawn delegation to Saudi Arabia to explore and to cooperate on investment in the areas of tourism, agriculture, energy security. These are the issues that are important for both countries.
That you would complement each other.
Yes.
And also in medical terms as well?
In medical terms as well. As you know, medical industry in Thailand is very well known, and we have a very convenient service, and we have many patients and visitors and tourists from the Middle East, including Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia and Saudi tourists comprise a major source of visitors for our medical tourism industry.
According to you, at the end of the meeting, what would be your opinions about the conclusions of the Apec meeting? Would it be the recovery to emphasize the world to push the world situation moving forward?
I think Apec meetings in Thailand are very important, and I would say are a pivotal moment in Thailand and in Asia Pacific in terms of our preparation for the economies in Asia Pacific and the world to address the environmental challenges that the world faces, the climate change issue. We have not discussed this issue head on. We have touched on in the past within APEC meetings, but this year we have really addressed quite squarely the problem, and we have come up with some of the solutions, some of the work that we have to do as part of our Bangkok Goals on BCG. That, I think, to me, that's most important. But also, we have prepared ourselves for economic recovery after COVID-19 economic slowdown. We have also prepared ourselves for a more connected and travel and exchange for investors and travelers within Asia Pacific. We have also prevented, hopefully, we have also prevented the lockdown of economies in case a pandemic breaks out again in the near future, which may or may not happen. But I think not only the cooperation within APEC itself, but I think what we discuss and our conversation within APEC and the fact that we host APEC this year, especially on BCG that we have submitted for members economy of APEC to work with us. Hopefully they have provided impetus for the Thai people within Thailand to really become better aware of the importance of our need and to transition our economy and our society to a more sustainable one. Starting now, I think we have no more time to lose in terms of our emission for the greenhouse gases and carbon emission, and Thailand has to play our part, and we cannot rely on the government just to set the goals, but it's the companies, the people in the economic sector, the people in the households, offices. We all have to work together to address this common issue.
I would like to shift from APEC to ASEAN Summit. For one question, as Thailand is one of the founders of the ASEAN Summit as well, and one of the key topics that the members would like to raise about is the situation in Myanmar. What would be Thailand's view, Thailand opinions about this and the measures?
We'll continue to support and as much as possible our work on the 5-point consensus. We will support the work and efforts of the chair of ASEAN, which is still Cambodia and Indonesia as next chair. We also attach great importance to the humanitarian situation in Myanmar, and we have provided humanitarian assistance to Myanmar, including COVID vaccine to the people in Myanmar and along the border. And we will continue to do that because the situation in Myanmar is very important to Thailand, especially the communities along the border.
There are also unrest along the borders, as we have heard before, and the Burmese planes cross the border or some unrest happening along the borders, what would be the solution for this?
Well, I think the plane incident was perhaps an isolated incident, and I think our Royal Thai Air Force has already implemented measures to enforce and to upkeep our sovereignty, our airspace. So that is the duty of the Air Force.
That's only one incident, but most of the incidents happen along the borders that some of the minorities cross the border here when there's unrest. What would be the solution for that, for Thailand and for also the people who are living along the borders as well?
Our long-standing policy on the border situation is to, of course, to upkeep our territorial integrity and our sovereignty, and also we provide humanitarian relief to the people across the border. In case there are the people that are fighting or fleeing disturbance in Myanmar, we will not push them back. We provide temporary shelter for them along the border. Some of these people, once they have their house, they have their properties back home in Myanmar, and many of them return voluntarily on their own, and we continue to facilitate that. But we will not, as a policy of non-refoulement, to push back the people to face danger in Myanmar. And Thailand has hosted, I think, close to 100,000 people fleeing from fighting in Myanmar over the past 30 years, and we continue to do so. And we have resettled, I think, tens of thousands of them in countries that in resettlement countries. And we have a number of years before, we have also facilitated a voluntary return, repatriation across the border for them to return to where they come from.
But one of the main factor about ASEANs being ASEANs is to be unity, to be unite. Myanmar as one of the member with the ongoing situation, how would ASEAN members react towards this, or are there any measures about Myanmar?
I think for Thailand, we continue to support as much as we can the dialogue among the parties in Myanmar. We continue to call for cessation of violence and fighting inside Myanmar. We continue to support that, and we continue to support the work of ASEAN in terms of to provide assistance in that direction.
I would like to ask, people always say that Thailand diplomacy is a bamboo diplomacy. What would you like to, what is your opinion about that? Especially Thailand is hosting Apec 2022.
I think you're referring to the bending with the wind diplomacy for Thailand's diplomacy. I think you're referring to Thailand following one of the powers, but not having its own stance on some issues. I think that's what you're referring to. But what I'm trying to explain is, regardless of what we are classified, at which kind of diplomacy we pursue, Thailand stands on its own national interests. We stand on our own territorial integrity. We stand on the benefits and interests and the goals of people of Thailand, and not with any other country, while also we uphold the international principles that's enshrined in United Nations Charter, in the ASEAN Charter as well. So the interests of Thailand will guide our diplomacy.
Thank you very much, and also congratulate you on being just recently appointed as ambassador to the Washington, D.C., the United States. What will be your main duties when you first arrived there?
Well, we'll have to discuss with our team in Washington. I think I will learn more and try to have inputs from our team, from Team Thailand, including other
The local
teams from other agencies. And we'll also have inputs from the local Thai community all over the United States, how we can provide better service, how we can strengthen the Thai and Thai American community in the United States, and how we can further promote relations and cooperation between Thailand and the United States.
Okay, for today, thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับ